Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing the biggest news in YouTube, which is PewDiePie's wedding. We are going to calculate how much that wedding cost, from the shoes and the rings and the food and all that jazz. We'll see what the bare minimum is that it could have cost and then go to realistically what it probably cost, the most it cost. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe because I put in videos every single week and it helps me a whole bunch. Now let's get to the action. If you're anything like me, you're kind of obsessed with weddings, you know, like the vibe, the theme. Did they have a Harry Potter themed wedding? Did they have pastels? Did they have little tiny bubbles that you can blow at the bride and groom and ruin their outfits that they spent thousands of dollars on? So I went ahead and calculated the money from what we know about PewDiePie's wedding. So the couple got married August 19th, which was a Monday in the year of 2019. The couple had been together for 8 years and were pretty public on the YouTube platform. Their venue was the Kew Gardens Nash Conservatory and Temperate House in London. Now that venue alone cost $25,728.97, and that's a reduced price because they got married on a Monday, so they were actually getting a pretty good deal. So kind of crazy to think about what it would have been without that. This looks like the place that Gandalf would use to grow his plants when he couldn't grow them anymore in the Shire because it was a little too cold there. Of course, when you have a wedding, you need people to prove that they were there and have these memories because obviously they can't keep these memories in their little brain boxes. So they had a photo booth there, and that photo booth cost $1,102.42, and apparently it was by this company called Photobot. Now, the last thing you want at a wedding is for your guests to get hangry because chances are you probably are annoyed by everyone that is at your wedding. But if you do need to feed them, you might want to feed them a breakfast, for example, like PewDiePie did. These breakfasts cost $92.25 per person. I don't know if they found the golden goose and were selling his omelets, but that's the only reasonable explanation I can find for why a breakfast would cost that much. Altogether, it ran them $3,675.23 for breakfast. Now, obviously, you can't have a wedding without the equipment to make it a banger. So we got lighting, PA systems, and other vendor equipment that would have run them about $3,064.56. On production alone, it's estimated that they spent $7,380. Possibly the most important part of any bride's wedding is her dress. Now, she had a dress designed by Joan Fleming, and Joan Fleming's cheapest designs are going to run you about $2,500. Now, the dress that she had would be about $6,100. Now, again, this is an estimation. We can't just go into PewDiePie's house and be like, yo, what'd you spend on all this stuff? Please don't call the cops. We're just curious because we haven't had our wedding yet and we just want to know what it's like to marry the person that you love and just have as much money as you want to spend on things. Speaking of the groom and, highway robbery, his tux costs $6,888. More than the bride's dress. Don't feel too bad for him though, because guess who found what his net worth is? Combined with his new bride, it comes to $33,210. Combined net worth. I also found out how much he makes per month, which is $6,580,977. Now, I didn't include this in the final cost for the wedding, but if you're curious how much her engagement ring was, it was between $92,250 and $123,000. So they spent approximately the cost of the ring on the wedding itself. No ring pops here, folks. Now we're going to do a quick, fast and dirty, down and dirty recap of what each of these items would have cost. This is the average amount that a London wedding would cost. So these were looking at the bare minimum that they would have paid for all of these things. Photography, yeah, 2 social media stars are going to want to capture that moment, so that comes to $1,968. Videographer, what are you going to post on YouTube if you don't have a videographer? That's going to cost you $1,353. Transport, how are your homies getting there? Not a magic carpet. They're going to need something that has gas, which is going to cost you $861. Flowers, yeah, those little things that bees like to lick on. That's going to cost you $1,599 buckaroonies. Decoration and hire, you know, someone to handle all the stress guests so you can post pictures on Instagram. That's going to cost you $1,353. Who are you hiring? Oh, the people to make the cake as well. That's going to be $615. Entertainment and music. Yeah, you can't just have them all looking around and staring at each other, so you're going to want $1,107 allocated for that. Oh, you're walking down the aisle? What are you walking on? Shoes! That'll cost you $246. Wedding stationery. How are you going to tell people when to be there? What time they got to be there? How are they going to remember this forever? What are they going to put on their fridge? Wedding stationery, $615. Beauty. This is going to be the best you look ever in your entire life. That's going to be $615. Grooms and ushers, $984. Wedding rings, you can't just use that ring pop, folks, or a little ring-shaped pretzel. That's going to be about $1,107. The registrar, yeah, someone's got to say that you're actually married, $369. Bridesmaids, $922.50. And lastly, what are you going to give people to convince them that going to this is worth their time? Favors and gifts, $861. Whew! So that was a lot. Now, calculating everything that I calculated, the bare minimum that we could get that this wedding would cost, not including the engagement ring, would be $68,514.68. Now, this is me converting everything from pounds, looking up London averages, looking up details about what their wedding had, what favors they had, how many people they had, the location, all this stuff. This is what I got. Now, let's say that we look into the details of who they had for the caterer, who they had for the cake, and all of that. I tried to look at that, and it turns out that most of these companies just had Instagrams, which is kind of crazy to think about, that they don't have actual websites. Their website just is a link to their Instagram. So there was no way to know exact numbers for that, because while I do love making that content, I'm not going to pretend that I'm having a wedding to get you those numbers. So if we just take in rough estimates of what those cakes and people and humans would have cost, the most money that this could have cost, or the approximate money, would be $148,860.46. There you have it, guys. That is how much the PewDiePie nuptials cost. I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoy looking up numbers and calculating things and just really digging into people's business. So if you did enjoy it, please subscribe, because I put out new videos every single week and it helps me a whole bunch. Subscribe.